In 2011, the Brooklyn Museum canceled an exhibition called Art in the Streets, which was set to run from March to October 2012. Museum director Arnold Lehman blamed finances to be the reason behind the cancellation. He had stated that with no major funding in place, they were not able to move forward with the project. Even though funding was said to be the reason behind this decision, it is clear that the response from the community had made an impact on the cancellation. People began making their opinions known and had felt that by allowing this exhibit to be on display, it was an invitation for vandalism. City Council member Peter Vallone wrote a letter in May of 2011 discouraging the museum from hosting the show, saying that taxpayer money should not be used to encourage the destruction of our taxpayers' property. Mr. Vallone also noted that the museum receives about $9 million annually from the city. New York Daily News had an editorial written blasting the exhibit, saying that the museum would be sticking their thumbs in the eyes of every bodega owner and restaurant manager who struggles to keep his or her property graffiti-free. The true question that came up during the debate over the exhibit was, is graffiti considered art or is it only vandalism? The museum was heavily criticized and accused of glorifying vandalism.
There's good graffiti and there's bad graffiti. Some graffiti is art, you know, but when it's just that kind of typical fat letters saying, not very thoughtful things, it becomes graffiti.
I think they take a risk for people won't think it's vandalism and it's mischief, but they're just expressing themselves on a big canvas.
Some people believe that graffiti should be a respected art form that would bring life and character into the community. It's agreed that tagging is problematic, but street art itself can showcase real talent. Even though the public spoke up about their opinion on the museum hosting the graffiti exhibition, the director stated that the decision was not based on political pressure. It makes you wonder, however, if the museum was set on doing the show and genuinely wanted to have the exhibition, why were there no real fundraising efforts? As stated earlier, the museum had no major funding behind the project. But why is that? It seems that the museum let the exhibition fall through the cracks too easily. Perhaps it is because of the strongly voiced opinions from the community. With true motivation and drive, the museum could have hosted fundraising events to raise money for the show. Maybe it would have even been able to earn some major donations towards the project. Having an exhibition like this in Brooklyn could have also been used to educate the community on street art, showing that it is not just vandalism. Although they are right in saying it's wrong to tag and vandalize property, the community is not right in dismissing it as art. The museum could have had the opportunity to change perspectives on the art form. Commissioned murals that are created throughout a city can really show the characteristics, values, and history of the location. Although tagging and some graffiti is an issue in large cities, this would have not been presented as glorifying vandalism. A complex art form could have been explained to the public and be presented with its history so that they may come to understand it better. Maybe with such a largely recognized organization showcasing this style of work, people who enjoy creating these images would appreciate the positive exposure. Maybe it could have even been possible for the museum to host an interactive session where street artists outside of the exhibit could have the freedom to show their creative expression. It is a museum's obligation to pursue art that will have an impact on its community. Even though the Brooklyn Museum received a lot of negative comments over the exhibit, it still should have seized the opportunity to educate people on such a controversial art form and bring light to the rich talent that is involved in this style of art.